As a big fan of Tupac, I've listened to many interviews, podcasts and talk shows where people discuss his body of work. Over the years it's occurred to me that certain songs don't seem to get a mention. Dear Mama, Keep Your Head Up, Hail Mary and many more are regularly referred to as great tracks, but there's a few that I've hardly ever heard anyone talk about. So I put this video together to call out 5 great tracks that I feel don't get the attention and credit they deserve. Number 5. White Man's World on the Machiavelli album. The acoustic guitar riff that permeates this track really sets the tone for what is a reflective and sincere take on Tupac's observations, while the fantastic vocals on the hook drive home a sense of hopelessness that is countered by that thug life message of understanding, reminding the listener that we're not alone in our thoughts. The cherry on top is the spoken words from Tupac regarding being extinct and using our heads. Maybe this is why the track is so often overlooked. Maybe it's a little bit too explosive in its message for many. Number 4. Hold Your Head on the Machiavelli album. I was drawn into this track by the piano part that punctuates the lyrics and the flute which hovers over the beat in the background. Musically it's such a nice track, mixing the fantastic lyrics and the poignant hook, and to me it's a classic, and I don't understand why it doesn't get the attention it deserves, whilst giving us a glimpse of where Tupac could have gone musically if he'd have lived on, which makes the track even more tragic. Number 3. Boria G, unreleased version. There's several versions of this track, one on the Thug Life album and one that was done with the group Dramacidal. I wasn't sure whether to include this one because I tried to pick songs that didn't have features on them. However, there is an OG version where Tupac raps 5 verses, so because of this I could justify including it to myself. Musically it's fantastic, making use of an Isley Brothers sample which when complemented with Tupac's rapping really drove home that thug life style, which to me always came across as things are bad but we're making the most of it and we're keeping going. On the Thug Life version it feels like you can almost see Tupac smiling and laughing his way through it. However, on the OG version it does take a darker turn on the verses that were omitted, for instance where he talks about his mother's drug use. Number 2. Blasphemous on the Machiavelli album. Songs like this are why I got into hip hop music. The sounds used are not the sort that you'd expect to make good music, in particular the bass line that has an unrefined and overwhelming sound to it, dominating the sound space. But it does work, and for that reason I think it just draws you in, especially with Tupac's seething vocals over the top. It's quite clear from the tone and the way he attacks the track that he's trying to get something off his chest that he feels strongly about. The lyrics show an awareness of life and an understanding of the complexity and flaws of belief systems, which is well beyond his years, complemented brilliantly by Prince Ital Joe's ragga hook. Number 1. Lord Knows on the Me Against the World album. This is one of my favourite tracks of all time. There's so much to like about it. The beat is one of the best hip hop beats I've ever heard, and the way that they've incorporated the sound of a clock complements the lyrical content, which is on a level that very few songs have ever competed against. The themes explored are typical Tupac, dealing with life, dealing with death, paranoia, apathy, frustration, self-harm, helplessness and injustice. I don't just think few rappers, but few songwriters across all genres of music have ever penned something as moving or complex as the lyrics in this song. As a result, I think it's the most underrated Tupac song I've ever heard. Let me know in the comments what you think and what your top 5 most underrated Tupac tracks would be. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe and watch my other videos.